Loretta Lynn did not begin her life as a legend. She began it in scarcity, in the hills of Butcher Hollow, Kentucky, where survival mattered more than dreams and silence was often mistaken for strength. Long before stages and spotlights, she learned how to endure. That lesson followed her for the rest of her life. By 15, Loretta was married. By 18, she was a mother several times over. By 20, she was singing not for applause, but for escape. Music was not a fantasy. It was a lifeline. The voice that would one day define country music was forged in exhaustion, fear, and persistence. Her husband, Oliver Doolittle Lynn, is often remembered publicly as the man who helped launch her career. Privately, he was far more complicated. Their marriage was marked by volatility, control, and cycles of harm followed by remorse. Loretta later acknowledged that much of her understanding of love was shaped by pain. Still, she stayed, for decades, believing endurance was the same as loyalty. When success arrived, it did not bring peace. Fame magnified insecurity, and the distance between who she was on stage and who she was at home grew wider every year. After Doolittle's death, many assumed Loretta was finally free. But freedom, she would later suggest, is not something that simply appears when one chapter ends. Her professional partnership with Conway Twitty became one of the most celebrated duets in country music history. On stage, they embodied harmony. Offstage, imbalance lingered. Loretta believed in him deeply, perhaps too deeply. Over time, she felt her contributions minimized and her identity eclipsed. What hurt most was not malice, but the quiet realization that admiration was not the same as respect. Another wound came not through violence or rivalry, but through public humiliation disguised as humor. Merle Haggard, whom Loretta once considered a musical brother, made a remark during a televised appearance that reduced her to a joke. The audience laughed. She did not. The moment lingered, not because of its cruelty, but because of how easily it was dismissed. That was the pain. Being diminished and then told it meant nothing. Later, a more overt cruelty emerged when David Allan Coe released an offensive parody that used Loretta's name and voice as tools of degradation. What devastated her most was not the existence of the song, but the silence surrounding it. Few defended her. Fewer intervened. It was a reminder that even icons can be left unprotected when controversy feels inconvenient. The final disappointment came quietly. Johnny Cash, someone Loretta admired profoundly, was asked to comment on her relevance as she aged in an industry obsessed with youth. His answer was measured, but to her it felt like abandonment. She did not need a champion, only the assurance that someone she trusted would not help close the door behind her. Silence, she learned, can wound as deeply as words. At 90, Loretta Lynn did not seek revenge or sympathy. She sought honesty. Her life was shaped by men who harmed her in different ways, through violence, dismissal, exploitation, or absence. But her story is not defined by them. It is defined by what she did despite them. She transformed hardship into music that spoke for countless women who had never been asked to speak. Her songs were not performances, they were testimony. Loretta Lynn did not survive quietly. She survived out loud, and that perhaps is her greatest legacy. Not that she endured, but that she refused to disappear while doing so.